Hey there everybody, and welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about percent some more, so let's go ahead and get started. Now this is not a note page, this is actually your assignment, so if you want to work a few of these problems along with me, that'd be great. We're going to be doing numbers 1, 5, 9, 10, and 11, so that should get you started. Okay, so it says show your work, round to the nearest hundredth if necessary, and circle your answer. Okay, so in these first few problems, we're going to be kind of translating that math speak into an equation, just like we did in yesterday's work. So it says 25% of, and remember that of usually means multiplication. So 25% of 176 is, that means equals, what number? Okay, so the of means multiply, the is means equals. I can just write this and that if I want to. But the 25%, we got to get rid of the percent sign and just write it as a decimal. So remember, you have to move the decimal point, which would be here. You move it over 2 spaces, so you're going to wind up with 0.25. So let's do that. 0.25 of, so times 176 is, so equals, and then what number? Let's just call it x. And, oh, where's my calculator? Let me grab that. Okay, we definitely need our calculator for these problems. Okay, so 0.25 times 176, and you're going to get 44. So 44 equals x. So what is the number? The number is 44. If you want to circle the 44, you can. If you want to circle the whole thing, that's fine. All good. Let's look at number 5 now. 16 is what percent of 4,000? Okay, so 16 is, I'm going to write 16 equals, for 16 is. Now, what percent of 4,000? So we have some kind of percent times 4,000. So for P, for the percent, I'm going to represent with a P, and then you're multiplying that because of the of, times 4,000. Now, of course, this is the same thing as writing 16 equals 4,000 P. Whichever way around you want to write it, totally fine. To get that P by itself, you're going to divide both sides by 4,000. So I'll just try 16 divided by 4,000 for now. And that's going to give me this. Let me write this down. Don't round it yet. 0.004 equals P. Okay, so before we answer this question, we need to put it in percent form. Okay? So because it's asking about a percent, right? So to put it into percent form, we're going to take that decimal and we're going to move it to the right. So it looks like we have a decimal right there. So it's going to be 0.4%. Now it says we're not round to the nearest hundredth. This is only a tenth, so we don't even have to round in this case. So that is our answer, 0.4%. Let's take a look at number 9. Now I know these word problems, you have to think about them a different way. So let's just read through them together and see if we can make sense of them. It says the Incredible Chocolate Chip Company has discovered that 36 out of 400 chocolate chip cookies do not contain enough chocolate chips. That sounds like a really big problem for me, definitely. What percent of the chocolate chip cookies do not have enough chips? So 36 out of 400 do not contain enough chocolate chips. We need to express that as a percentage. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do a problem like this, okay? If you know that 36 out of 400 is the ratio that you have, and you want to just express it as a percentage, for me, the way I think about this, I just like to set it up as a proportion, just like they say proportions up here, right? If you set it up as a proportion, out of the total number was 400, right? Well, when you have a percent problem, percent means, remember that percent means per 100, right? So you have some number per 100. And now you just have a nice little proportion here, and you have to figure out what goes in here. You can do that by cross multiplying, or you could use a scale factor. Right here I know that 400, 100, it looks like I can just divide by 4. So I could divide that top number by 4 also and just get a 9. And I know that that's 9 out of 100, which is the same thing as 9%. So I would get my answer to be 9%. So that's one way to do it. Now let's see if I've saved myself enough room to show you the other way. Let me think through this. It says 36 out of 400 chocolate chip cookies do not contain enough chocolate chips. Okay, so the total amount is the 400. So 400 times some percentage, I'm going to say P, gives us 36. I mean 36. Okay, so 400 times some percentage equals 36. Let's divide both sides by 400 to get rid of that and get the p by itself. So I'm going to do 36 divided by 400, and you're going to get 0.09. P equals 0.09. Now remember, we need to write this answer as a percentage, so let's move our decimal point 2 places, 1, 2, and we're going to get 9% as our percentage. So either way, whatever makes more sense to you is definitely what you should use, okay? Let's take a look at number 10. Donovan took a math test and got an 87.5%. If he had 35 correct answers on his test, how many problems were on the test? Okay, so let's see. Could we set this up as a proportion? Totally. If you want to, we should do it. So how would you write the 87.5? You would do 87.5 over what? Remember, percent is per 100, so we're going to put it over 100. And that's going to equal the number of correct answers over the total number of answers, whatever that is. We don't know what it is. So I'm just going to write an X here. I'm choosing an X because I'm looking at scale factors. 35 times 2 is 70, so I'm thinking there's not a quick and easy scale factor that I can use. Instead, we're going to just cross multiply. So 35 times 100 is going to be 3,500 equals 87.5x. Okay, let's divide both sides by that 87.5. So 3,500 divided by 87.5 gives us 40. Okay, so 40 equals x. So that would indicate 40 problems total. Now, is there another way to get the same answer? Absolutely. Stay tuned. You might like this way better. You might not. I don't know. There's only one way to find out, right? So again, he took a math test, got an 87.5%. So he answered some total number of questions. We don't know. I'm going to just write T for total. So total number of questions times the percentage. Remember, we need to write it as a decimal, so move that decimal place over 2. So we're going to do 0.875. So the total number of questions times 0.875 should equal 35. All right, so now you need to get that T by itself, so you're just going to divide both sides by the 0.875. And you're going to be left with T equals something. Hopefully the same thing we got here, right? Let's do 35 divided by 0.875, and we get 40. Perfect. So 2 different ways to do that one. Now let's look at number 11. All right, in a survey of 450 people, so that's the total number of people, okay? 74% admitted that they hate Brussels sprouts. How many people in the survey do not care for this vegetable? Do you like Brussels sprouts? I'm kind of on them. They're okay. I like them best cooked with bacon. When I do eat them, they need to have bacon in them. But back to the problem. So we could do it this way. This is probably the most straightforward way. We're going to take the total, multiply it by the percentage, and that'll get us the answer. So 450 times, remember to convert that to a decimal, so 0.74. And that should equal the number of people, I'll just say P, that don't like Brussels sprouts. So let's try that on the calculator. 450 times 0.74, 330 people. Excuse me, I said that wrong. 333 people. Okay, now what about if we wanted to use a proportion? Well, the percentage is always out of 100, so we can go ahead and write that. That's easy. Set that equal to this. Now, the question is, does 450 go on the top or the bottom? I don't know. Is 450 the total number of people, or is it the number of people that don't like Brussels sprouts? It's the total number of people, and the total is going to go on the bottom in these kind of problems. It's going to go in the same place that 100 went. And then you're just going to solve for x. Do that by cross multiplying. You'll get 100x equals, I don't know what that is, so let's try 74 times 450. 33,300. Okay, divide both sides by 100, and you'll just lose a couple of zeros there, and x is going to equal 333. So 2 ways to get that same answer. I'm going to let you work on the rest on your own. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Bye.